Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. You, yes you, the listeners of What's the Score, can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial by going to www.audibletrial.com/WTS Sports Quiz. You can find over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. That's www.audibletrial.com/WTS Sports Quiz. Broadcasting from the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this is What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Ivey, the man who can't wait to watch touch football on the big screen once again. That's right, folks, it's Pro Bowl weekend. Nothing? All right. No. And now, here's the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone. Yes, it is Pro Bowl weekend. For those of you that were looking for an all-bowling episode, please check back in a couple of weeks when the PBA Tour is going on. Now, the Pro Bowl is up and exciting. The NFC versus AFC, Josh, all the excitement, of course, that takes place there. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We will talk about it, though, later on. We do want to remind all of you, of course, that if you do want to join us, you can go to our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com, and click on the Become a Contestant button and sign up to play one of our great games today.
You can also find the show on demand on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spreaker.com.
Let's meet our panelists this week. First up, he is a public address announcer for the Wisconsin Rapids Raptors, an engineer at Fox Sports Wisconsin, and a longtime Buffalo sports hopeful. It's Tanner Burke.
Hello, Baxter. Hello. Let me just say, I am determined to find out how the Patriots cheated this year, and I've got my best guys on it. Carmen Sandiego, Sherlock Holmes, and Al Roker, so I'll let you know.
You cannot go wrong with that crack team, Tanner.
Al Roker's a wild card, but let me tell you, he knows what he's doing.
I love it. And next up, he is an executive producer and a show host at the Big 920 WOKY in Milwaukee. It's Armen Saryen.
Thanks for having me back, guys. You know, Baxter, I'd love to do a bowling show sometime.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Do you bowl at all? Do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it. I don't bowl very well.
No?
I try and spin the ball a little bit. I'm more of a straight baller, but, hey. I do my best. I more try and trick the ball into hitting the pins. That's more what happens, yeah.
Fantastic. And making his debut on the panel this week, a true Homer sports fanatic of Wisconsin sports, I believe, and a meteorologist at TMJ4 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Brian Niznansky.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for having me. This is my first time. I'm super pumped. Heard lots about it and ready to go.
We're excited to have you, Brian. Very special welcome to you, of course. It is your first time here, and I'm sure a lot of people are excited but also interested to know what a weatherman knows about sports. Do you plan to shower us with your knowledge today?
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Soon?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. I grew up just watching sports, and my worst moment of my sports watching career is that I think all of us could maybe agree on was the Seattle game a couple years ago.
That wasn't fun. Yeah,
and I think in comparison to what we just experienced just a short while ago, that one still stings a lot more.
That's true. I would definitely agree.
Don't rain on my parade.
It's going to be a theme, I think.
I think so.
It's time to get this show on the road with our first contestant game. Joining us on the phone to play Quotable Context is Brian McMahon. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hello, welcome.
Hey, Brian, you're going to be playing our first game today called Quotable Context, where Game Master Scheibe will read you 5 quotes from the week's news, and you must correctly identify the context of each quote. Do that at least 3 times out of 5, and you will win a What's the Score prize. If you get stuck on a question, you are allowed to ask one of our panelists for a hint, but only on one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play, sir?
Yes.
All right, here is your first quote.
I'm not alarmed by it. I just think that's football. Obviously, I'm hopeful that he returns.
That was Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin when asked about his feelings if what NFL quarterback were to retire in the offseason.
Ben Roethlisberger.
That is correct. Yes, nicely done. Ben Roethlisberger, the man that is always just outside the conversation. For a while, it was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Ben Roethlisberger in the AFC. Now, Manning retired, and it still is Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, and Ben Roethlisberger. I feel like Ben's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm assuming he's got at least a ring.
He's got 2 rings.
Two rings.
You have to think he's there. Does
he have 2 rings?
I think. Doesn't he have 2?
I thought he had 1. I thought the Packers one would have been the second ring.
That would have been the third one because he has 2. He was young for the first one.
Oh my gosh! Shows how much I pay attention of. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Did that make it 3?
I think that's how.
A lot of voters like attaching team success to individual.
A lot of people do, and then people flip it over, like, well, Marino never won a Super Bowl, but he had the numbers though too. So I would be curious to see how good Pittsburgh would be without Ben Roethlisberger.
I think Roethlisberger it was the opposite of Rodgers this year, whereas Rodgers carried us through that playoff run.
Yeah.
Where Rodgers did, but Roethlisberger kind of fizzled a little bit. He was not having the stats down the stretch, and the team actually took them, not Rodgers.
I completely agree. All right, here's your next quote.
I'm just telling you, if they pass on him, they're passing on Michael Jordan.
That was Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney talking about what future NFL quarterback that is entering this year's draft.
Oh, I believe it's Deshaun Watson.
That is correct.
Deshaun Watson?
Yep, Deshaun Watson, that's correct. To be compared to Michael Jordan, I feel like is a bit of a stretch. Deshaun Watson's a very good quarterback. I don't want to take anything away from him. Obviously, Clemson won the national championship, of course, too. But to call him the next Michael Jordan, I feel like LeBron's been dealing with that for long enough. But nobody ever said that about Brady or Rodgers or any of these other guys.
Was he comparing him to Jordan in terms of skill or passing on him in the draft? Because Jordan went third, and that's famous now. But I don't know.
Who's got the first pick this year? Cleveland, of course, has got the first pick. I'm sure Buffalo's right behind
whoever
them.
Cleveland.
Cleveland, though. I know
Right
Cleveland.
Right off the bat, Baxter.
Right to the heart.
But does it matter, though, for Cleveland if they get another quarterback?
No, whoever they pick, though, it won't work out.
It won't
never
even
work
matter.
out. Right.
So I feel like if you do want to pass, I feel like if you're Cleveland, be like, we don't want a quarterback because we don't want. We'd like to do justice to him. All right, here is your next quote, Brian.
As much as I'd like to see my buddy at AlexMac55 win a Super Bowl, I would sure love to see at NFL Commish have to hand an SB trophy to Brady.
That was what Cleveland Browns offensive lineman voicing his opinion of who he wants to win the Super Bowl.
For that one, I'm not sure. I'd have to use help of some sort.
Absolutely, yeah. You can use a hint. Would you like to talk to Armen, Brian, or Tanner for your hint?
Well, I got to go for Brian. We got to match up names, Brian to Brian.
Of course, Brian. How can you help Brian with who this Cleveland Browns offensive lineman is?
Let's see. The Green Bay Packers have a player with the exact same name.
Oof. Matthews? Clay Matthews?
No, unfortunately. It was Joe Thomas is who we were looking for, the longtime Wisconsin Badger offensive lineman, and Joe Thomas, the man that I think refuses to get traded from the Browns as well, too. But I feel like he should be made an honorary Hall of Fame member just for putting up with Cleveland so many years consecutively.
Yes, he's done yeoman's work slogging through the quagmire of Cleveland seasons every year.
He's done his absolute best to make the very best out of a situation in Cleveland, but by gosh, that man needs to get out of there. And there was rumors this last offseason that he was going to get traded.
Well, people won't want to trade for him, but I don't know. He just believes in being there, I guess.
Good for him, though. That's the guy you got. That's the kind of guy you want on your team, though. Cleveland's like, at least somebody believes in us because we sure don't. All right, here, Brian, is your next quote.
Your win has always been my win.
That was Venus Williams after her loss to whom in the Australian Open singles final?
I believe she lost to her sister, Serena Williams.
That is correct. Nicely done. Serena Williams has obviously just had an outrageous career. Her sister Venus as well has done an incredible job. But I always find it funny when the sisters get matched up in a final, too. Do they have those conversations previous going onto the court kind of a thing? Just being like, can I win this time? Or are you going to win this time? Or like, you can't even really feel bad about it. They played each other so many times since they were kids as well.
They've played so many matches.
They know each other inside and out as well, too. I'm surprised not every game ends in a draw, basically, because they just know how each other plays.
But Serena's skills far surpass Venus's now at this stage in their career.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of a given that she was going to win.
Yeah.
Do they get along in general?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, but they're both very competitive, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they basically have been pro athletes since they were, 10 or something like that? It's absolutely incredible. Those are two definitely all-time greats, I think, in sports as a whole. All right, Brian, here is your final quote.
Tom Brady is one of the all-time greats. It would be a pleasure.
That was who this week addressing the rumors of what would happen at the Super Bowl trophy presentation if the Patriots won?
That he would have to get the trophy handed from Roger Goodell?
Yeah, that's correct. Nicely done. All right. For everybody that hates New England, everybody wants to see them win purely for that one moment where Roger Goodell has to stare Tom Brady in the face and Bill Belichick and kind of sort of cringe smile and say, yeah, thank you, yay, thank you very much, and here's the trophy and all that.
More awkward than a 7th grade slow dance, probably.
Yeah, I think that's about as best way you can put it. They, usually the arms on the shoulders.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Exactly.
Game Master Scheibe, how did Brian do in our quiz?
Brian got 4 out of 5 correct. He's a winner.
Hey, congratulations, Brian. Thank you so much for playing, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, it looks like we're heading to our first break now, but when we come back, our panelists will have their first crack at showcasing their knowledge of this past week's sports news. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz.
Hi everybody, this is Liz Colburn, the Executive Director of What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. We want to remind you to join Less Lucky Town for the next Milwaukee Bucks tailgate on Sunday, February 26th. $53 gets you a game ticket, bus ride, a t-shirt, and more. Stop in and reserve your spot today, or check them out at www.less.com. We are proud to have a great sponsor like Less Lucky Town.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. This week, our panelists are Tanner Burke, Armen Saryen, and Brian Niznansky. And now, here's your host at the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone. We just want to remind all you to go check out our Facebook page and give us a like. You can find out latest show information, pictures, videos, and much more. Just go and search for What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz on Facebook today.
Time now for our panelists to showcase their knowledge about this past week's sports news.
Tanner, we'll start with you, sir.
All
a
right,
taxi driver, a great profession, as you probably know. A taxi driver called John Elway the greatest quarterback in history this past week, but who just happened to be in the car when he was having this revelation?
Was it Abraham Lincoln?
Oh,
no, I'm going to need a hint. I honestly have no idea.
You're going to need a hint?
Yeah.
He was preaching to the choir.
He was preaching to the
He
choir?
was preaching to the choir when he was saying that John Elway's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
Oh, man.
I feel like you don't do a lot during the week, do you? I mean, it's,
a lot of
I've had you on the show a couple times, Tanner. and Some of these
There's
questions.
a reason I'm stuck in third place.
I have a child, and I even knew about this. I don't sleep.
It's Pro Bowl weekend, Baxter. Give me a break. I'm busy.
What's your answer, Tanner? Do you have an answer?
Robert Kraft.
No, unfortunately. John Elway was in the back seat.
Are you kidding me?
You said preaching to the choir.
Jeez.
I felt like
all right.
I couldn't have handed it to you much more than that. But yes,
Well,
John
we've all
Elway.
had those moments. That's
Just
okay.
take me out back and end it already.
I know. Second segment is when it all falls apart for Tanner, right?
I didn't even need to say it this time.
Exactly, we just know. But yes, John Elway was in the backseat of this car, of the taxi, and the taxi driver's going, "Oh no, John Elway's the greatest quarterback." And he looked in the back seat, not realizing that it was John Elway. He kind of had his jacket pulled up and a little bit more undercover. Maybe he was part of
That's probably why I didn't know.
Yeah,
You know,
he was undercover.
I'm always skeptical of these things now. I don't know if that was set up. Is it fake? You know, all these internet videos. You never know.
I have no idea, but Elway's not the greatest quarterback. Just for anybody that was wondering.
No way.
I've
No
heard
way.
Joe Montana, I think, still wins, or Fran Tarkenton. No, anyway.
Fran.
No, maybe
He was
not?
a good quarterback, but I'm not putting him there.
No, I know, but I feel like Tom Brady, Joe Montana, those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can put those guys up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Brady wins another one and he has a great game, he's got
That's
it.
5 rings for him.
That's
You
right there with
can't-
Joe.
Again, team
Just
accomplishments.
leave already. God, I'm sick of it.
Buffalo's like,
we get it. You're the GOAT. End it.
All right, Armen, the next one's for you.
Yeah, okay.
Usain Bolt was stripped of his 2008 gold medal after what news broke this week?
So I forget the name, but one of his relay partners in one of the relay races was found to be doping.
Yes.
And all their medals got stripped away.
That is correct. This is one instance where when you say, man, this guy is dope,
Yes.
you don't want
Yes,
that to be
he's
true.
dope.
Be like, no, don't dope.
Good example of when a headline can get you wrong. My dad texted me frantically, I heard Usain Bolt lost his medal for doping. Well, that's technically true, but not accurate, right?
Yes, him, but not him, exactly.
Yeah.
It was a relay partner. And I thought that as well, too, until I did more research
Sure.
looking into this.
Now,
And
that
people
would've
were like,
been
no, it was his teammate, and
Right.
the relay team as a whole got disqualified for it. But I think that only leaves him now with 7 gold medals. Oh, poor thing. Instead of, because he was 8 for 8, I think, in all the events that he had ever competed for in Olympics. But a very sad thing for Usain Bolt, but I think, what can you do at that point? You just be like, well, thanks for nothing, man, gosh. Brian, the last question is for you. The Washington Redskins this week announced that Jim Tomsula would be joining the team in what new position?
Jim Tom Sula. Do you think Gruden's going to get another job? Anybody?
I don't know.
Is he still alive?
I'm sure
As a head, maybe.
Yeah.
Not John Gruden, though.
The Bills will probably
John's busy
hire him.
doing his quarterback camp there and doing
Bills
ESPN
jokes.
and all that stuff. Yeah.
He was, I read this, so he was a defensive line
Yes,
coach.
that is correct. Nicely done. Yes.
I happened to catch
line. Redskins close to the playoffs this last year. Kirk Cousins throwing that decisive interception, as we know about, allowing the Packers and the Giants to then be the wild cards as well. But Washington, I think, is on the up and up as long as Kirk Cousins continues to be a key player for them. But the defense, of course, for the Redskins has been a little shoddy the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean they started 6-3-1 and then they struggled. So I think the problem was they finished badly.
And Josh Norman hasn't done that great either, too,
Right.
since he's been a part of the team. So
They took an obvious step back, I think.
I think
looking
so.
at who they were last year, we went in. I remember when the Packers went into Washington, we were scared of them.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
a game that was like, okay, are we going to win this?
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. And the Packers obviously ended up winning, and then Washington didn't make the playoffs this year. So, but an exciting time for the Redskins, to say the least.
Well, we're heading to a break, but when we come back, our second contestant will play a game called Tennis Down Under. Don't stray too far away. We'll be back in just a few minutes on What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz.
Hey, What's the Score fans? This is Chris Christofko from TitletownSoundoff.com.
And I'm the guy they call Bobo, and we want to tell you a little bit about what our podcast, Titletown Sound, has to offer.
Titletown Sound is about everything related to the 13-time world champions of football, the Green Bay Packers. We talk about the games, the players, the coaches, the controversies, breaking news, rumors, and all the ups and downs that come with the unpredictable NFL season. We also love to interact with our fans every week. Even if you don't like football, you may still love our podcast. We have a lot of entertainment value mixed in with our informative takes on the Packers.
You just read all the lines, Chris. I mean, you read your lines and then you read all of mine.
You can find us on iTunes and on our website, TitletownSoundoff.com, where you can also find our opinions and learn about our personal stories and interactions with members of the Green Bay Packers.
What are you doing?
The other guys on the show asked me to keep you from saying too much in the commercial.
James and Jeremy asked you to do that?
No, actually, Baxter and Josh asked me.
Oh.
I mean, this is an important commercial spot, and, well, your biggest contribution on the show to date is quoting Avril Lavigne songs.
Okay, well, that's a valid point.
Give us a try. What could it hurt? Titletown Sound on TitletownSoundoff.com.
It's not complicated.
Don't do that.
Oh, sorry. Force of habit.
Hello all and welcome back to the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. We have a fantastic panel here today. It's Armen Saryen, Brian Niznansky, and Tanner Burke, and they'll have the opportunity to show their prowess in just a little bit. Before that, though, here's the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thanks, Josh. Coming up, we put our panelists to the test in our Left's Lucky Town Name 5 Panelist Showdown. If you'd like to play our games on air, go visit our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com, and sign up today.
Playing our next game is Ivan Sanchez. Welcome to the show, Ivan.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Doing well, Ivan. As you probably heard, Ivan, the Australian Open just wrapped up this past week, and it provided fans with some exceptionally exciting drama and storylines to follow in the 2017 tennis world.
In this game, which we're calling Tennis Down Under, we'll give you 5 questions about the Australian Open. Answer at least 3 correctly, and you'll win a What's the Score prize. If you do get stuck, you can ask one of our panelists for a hint, but on only one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
Yep.
All right, here is your first question. The Australian Open is the first Grand Slam of the year in tennis. What Australian city plays host to it? Is it A, Melbourne, B, Sydney, or C, Canberra?
Melbourne.
That is correct. Nicely done.
Right.
Starting off strong. Yes, the Melbourne Gin Company makes fantastic gin for anybody that was curious.
We'll have to have a drink of that.
Please, yes. Today's show brought to you by the Melbourne Gin Company. All right, anyway, here's your next question, Ivan.
Agnieszka Radwanska and Simona Halep, seeded 3rd and 4th respectively, were knocked out in the first 2 rounds of the Australian Open. This marks the first time in how many years that 2 of the top 4 seeds were knocked out within the first 2 rounds of the Australian Open? Is it A, 25 years, B, 40 years, or C, 50 years?
Oh, man. Why didn't I read up on my Australian Open book?
You do have
25.
25? No, that is incorrect, unfortunately. It was 40 years. 40 years was the last time that happened. All right, you still got plenty of time. Here's your next one. Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic, the world's number 1 and number 2 in men's tennis, both were knocked out by the 4th round of the event. This marks the first time since which Australian Open that at least one of them did not make it to the quarterfinals of a major? Was it A, 2005, B, 2006, or C, 2007?
I will take my hint.
Okay. Would you like to talk to Armen, Tanner, or Brian for your hint?
Brian.
Brian, all right. How can you help him out?
Gosh, what happened in this year? Trying to think of the year that we're talking about. I'll just go with a very abstract word and use it how you want. Decade.
Decade, okay. So your options again were 2005, 2006, 2007, and Brian's hint to you was decade.
I will go 2007.
That is correct. Nicely done. There you go.
I didn't get the clue there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything 2007 noteworthy. What would be?
Like, what was a popular happening or a song in 2007?
The Rams win the Super Bowl in 2007 or something like that? Something random?
No.
Random.
No.
No.
I think those were Browns.
Oh, the Browns won the Super Bowl in '07. Yes. All right, Ivan.
Good job, though. I couldn't think of anything. Great job.
Mirjana Lukic-Baroni has captured the hearts of tennis fans everywhere. After a 7-year hiatus in her early career due to an abusive father, she made her first Grand Slam final since Wimbledon of 1999. How old is Lukic-Baroni? Is it A, 33, B, 34, or C, 35?
Oh, man. I think it was 35, right?
35 is incorrect, unfortunately. You were off by 1. 34 is the correct answer on that one. You still got time. We got one more left here for you. Roger Federer came in as a dark horse into this tournament despite being a 4-time champion in Australia. This was due to his lowest seeding in the event. What seed was Federer? Was it A, 8th, B, 14th, or C, 17th?
17.
That is correct. Nicely done.
What a legendary player and finish. What a legendary player, Roger.
I couldn't believe that. That's
absolutely
17th. Incredible. Congratulations, though, for him and a very
legend.
He won, didn't he? He ended up winning it all.
I believe so. I didn't get up this early this morning, but
I think that was the rumor around the rumor mill there. Game Master Shabby, how did Ivan do on our game?
He pulled it off at the end there. He got 3 out of 5 correct. He's a winner.
Congratulations, Ivan. Thank you so much for playing, sir. All right, panel, some more questions for you from this past week's sports news. Armen, we'll start with you. Jim Harbaugh, he's at it again. He revealed that he did what with a truck driver who hit him back when he was 7 years old this past week?
Oh, gosh. I didn't hear. Oh, gosh. First of all, I want to give Josh credit for reading all those names.
Honest, I think
can we
get
extra points?
Little game master points.
That's a veteran stall right there, by the way.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank the people.
He did what with a truck driver?
So Jim Harbaugh did something with the truck driver that hit him when he was 7 years old this week. So he saw this truck driver again who hit him back when he was 7, and they did something together.
Do I get a clue or anything like that?
You can ask for it. Yeah, it's best with cookies.
Okay.
It pairs nicely with cookies.
He shared a glass of milk with him?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow.
Oh, what a nice guy. Jim Harbaugh at 7 seems real pleasant.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So apparently, this male truck driver hit Harbaugh as a kid with his truck when he was little, and they reunited all this time later. And to show that there was no hard feelings, how they shared a glass of milk.
Literally, like a literal glass of milk.
I like that.
You want to go grab a? You want to go
glass of milk?
Go up to the local corner store and grab a milk.
Like we're gonna share the same. Were they like the same bottle? Maybe
2%.
I want 1%, Barky. Give me the good
still
stuff.
part of the milk delivered to the house.
Smoking season.
Exactly.
Drink your milk.
Coconut milk or some weird like
crazy
pistachio milk or
putting strawberry quick in there probably. Those crazy cats.
Exactly.
All right, Brian, the next one's for you.
Okay.
This week, Deadspin challenged anyone to send them a look-alike contest for Ted Cruz. Which athlete did Ted Cruz send back to them as his doppelganger?
I don't know this, but
you can ask for hints. If
I'm thinking of the player who really does, in my own mind, that does look like him, and I'm going to go with Grayson Allen.
That's correct.
All right,
yeah, Grayson Allen.
I never heard. Yeah, I thought that was my only. I thought I was the only one who felt that.
No,
apparently
not. You should have participated in the contest, and you could have won there.
The Twitter exchange between Ted Cruz and Desmond was quite interesting. I don't know if anyone read that.
I don't think I did, honestly.
Quite interesting, quite funny.
Ted Cruz, then, the reason a lot of people are wondering why he didn't win the election is because he didn't trip enough people on the way to the election. If he had tripped Trump a couple more times, then he'd feel like he could have been
Has he calmed that down yet? I know he had a couple that were possibilities.
Well, there was something this last week that there was a play on the court, not even related to him, and he was just trying to walk back to the huddle, and guys from the opposing team were like standing in his way, and he just was kind of like staring off, like past them, like gonna get away from me kind of thing.
Because at what point does he get diagnosed with some tripping disease? He's tripping.
He's tripping. It's a whole other thing on tripping.
I think we're much more sensitive now to every move he makes on the court, and everyone's,
he's a good player.
Everyone analyzes everything he does now as maybe is he being dirty here. So I didn't think the last incident was much ado about nothing, in my opinion.
Probably.
But like you said, he's a good player, and he just has this streak inside him. I don't know.
I have no idea. All right, Tanner, last question. This round goes to you. What broadcasting legend announced that January 31st will be the last time he puts on the broadcasting headset in his career?
Oh, man. I got to think about this. I must have been on vacation this past week, Baxter. I'm not really. It must have been a terrible vacation because I don't remember being anywhere. But
you must have gone to Buffalo.
I mean, you know.
Beautiful this time of year.
I would have at least remembered that.
Take those shots. Take those shots,
Baxter. Going on there right now, yes. Oh, my God.
You want a hint?
Yeah,
okay.
I guess. I mean, it's not going to help.
Probably not. But
come on.
His last name sounds like something that you would order at like a novelty fast food joint.
Oh man,
Ben Roethlisberger has one of these as well too.
I know. God, I stink. I should have showered this morning.
Probably.
Is it Don Sherry?
It's not
Don Sherry.
Brent Musburger is who you were looking for.
You're looking live, right? Brent Musburger.
Yes.
That's his. Boy, that's a good guess, though.
I would order a cherry at a fast food restaurant.
Well, now
take my double cheeseburger with cherry on top, please.
Yeah,
Don Sherry.
It's a whole other sort of thing.
Now Brent Musburger can just gamble without.
And now then he can make illicit comments about quarterbacks' girlfriends in the stands too. And was that AJ McCarron's girlfriend,
right?
Fiance or something?
Oh, right, because he said she was a beautiful.
Yeah, it's like quarterbacks get all the beautiful women or something like you said.
How dare he call?
I was a kicker. My wife.
Kids, listen up. Throw the football.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want to do.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to head to another break here in a minute. But before we do, I want to note that Brian gets an additional panelist point for that successful hint in our last game.
Wow. Way to go, Brian.
All right. I can do this. All right.
Yeah,
and we are heading to a break, but don't worry, we'll be right back, and we'll have another round of questions for our panelists. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. Hello all, I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master here at What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. Thanks for listening in. I may not know much about sports, but what I do know about are our social media pages. Check us out on Facebook at What's the Score, or Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz. Thanks very much for listening. Welcome back to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, and thanks for listening. We're broadcasting from the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe, and we're playing this week with Brian Niznansky, Tanner Burke, and Armen Saryen. And here, once again, is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We've had a great show for you. A reminder, coming up on February 1st, we're hitting the road. We're headed off to Leff's Lucky Town in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, for those of you that are around the Wisconsin area. We're going to be doing a live recording from 6:30 to 7:30, but the event itself goes from 6 to 8. Milwaukee Bucks take on the Utah Jazz shortly after that, so come down and check out the game with us. Play a game with us as well on the air. and get to meet some of the great people that make What's the Score possible. Time now for our segment we like to call Stump the Shybee. It's the part of the show where I give Josh 2 sports facts. One of them is correct, one of them is totally made up, and he must decipher which of the 2 is correct. Game Master Shybee, are you ready, sir?
Ready when you are.
All right, here are your 2 facts. Your first one. The original proposed size of the baseball is what we know today as the softball. Okay. The original proposed size of the baseball is what we know today as the softball, or the scythe-ball. The second one. The 1972 NHL champion Boston Bruins are misspelled on the Stanley Cup. So those are your 2 options. So the original proposed size of the baseball is what we know today as the softball, and the 1972 NHL champion Boston Bruins are actually misspelled on the Stanley Cup. One of those is a real fact, the other one is made up.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know specifically about whether the baseballs were the same size, but I know tennis balls were actually much closer to the size of the softballs. Actually going back to back into ancient, not really ancient history, but back to the time of Henry V and that time
Henry
period.
V.
So let's see. But then a misspelling in the 1972.
It's kind of the Stanley Cup.
That seems like it'd be a pretty big deal.
Somebody got fired. I'm sure.
So I am actually going to go with baseball. Originally being the softball size.
That would be incorrect, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yes, the Boston Bruins are misspelled on the 72 Stanley Cup, unfortunately.
Rightfully
and they still haven't fixed that.
I was going to say, or fortunately, I guess, depending on... See, when you were going back to the ancient history thing, I was thinking back to when the Israelites left Egypt. The reason they left is because Moses beat Pharaoh in 5 sets in Pharaoh's court. That was my original thought there. I was
beat him with love, right?
Beat him with... Yes, exactly. Let my people go! Exactly. They were going back and forth. Anyway.
Still waiting for a Buffalo joke, but...
I think we've gone 3 segments without getting a real jab at me, so I think we're doing okay right now.
Wait for it.
Yeah,
I think it's time for our last slate of panelist questions, Game Master Shybee, if I'm not mistaken.
And Brian, the first one's for you. Steph Curry was honored at his high school and college this week, but at his high school, his daughter Riley again got all the attention. What was she doing with someone in the crowd?
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't catch
She's
this.
a star. She's a star.
I didn't catch this. I remember her on the podium at the the finals, doing her thing, or in the playoffs last year. So she's a character for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What was she doing? She was.
Can ask for a hint too if you want.
Sure, I'll take a hint.
It's a very popular celebration move that a lot of professional athletes do now, or even people in general.
She was dabbing away.
Yes, basically, she was having a dab off.
Thank you very much.
That's what I do whenever I win. What's the score? No one just nobody sees it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what I was like,
Yep,
exactly. But yeah, she was having a dab off in the stands, and people were like, "Steph Curry, oh look at Riley,
she's dabbing." Look at that.
She's so famous now. I mean, she'll have book deals ready in a couple of years.
I was going to say, is she gonna get her own show or something? Mom got a show, didn't she, on Food Network or something?
Aisha Curry, maybe.
Yeah, Cooking with Curry.
Makes sense.
Know, something like that. All right, Tanner, question for you. Let's see if we can get something right here for you this week. Phillip Rivers. We all know who Phillip Rivers is.
Sure.
Okay.
We have to ask these things. No.
We don't. I mean,
Did we not vet Tanner before we had him on the show?
Wow.
Look at anybody walk in. Okay.
Wow.
All right, Tanner. Phillip Rivers said that the Pro Bowl would mark the last time that he does what in his career?
Oh man, I recently heard that he actually, first of all, let me just say Phillip Rivers, fantastic guy,
great guy,
phenomenal guy.
You know him well?
Well, we play poker on Wednesday nights.
Do you? Okay.
Online. Nice. At least the guy I play with is
really?
Rivers at number 1.
At Phillip Rivers 17.
I can imagine that would be what his name would be. But no, he actually, real quick though, he actually took time. He took an extra trip before the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. To go to a father-daughter dance with his daughter. How sweet is that?
That's adorable. Doesn't he have 14 kids?
He's got a lot of kids.
8 kids?
Kids.
Unbelievable. So just a great man. Could you read the question for me one more time?
Phillip Rivers said the Pro Bowl would mark the last time that he does what in his career?
Goes to the Pro Bowl? Actually goes?
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm going to leave that to Game Master Shybee.
Oh,
Plays in the Pro Bowl?
I'm going to say no.
No, unfortunately,
there's
no.
the possibility.
Throw me a bone,
It'll be
Shiny.
the last time that he will be a member of the San Diego Chargers.
Oh, well.
Oh, right.
So that is what he is saying.
They're not going to be in San Diego anymore. So
that's why he's not that's why he's not a Charger.
You're giving me all the rhetorical questions. Preaching to the choir over here.
But yes, Phillip Rivers. But we've also heard, though, that he does want to get out of San Diego, regardless if it's with the Chargers or not.
So the
Buffalo,
correct answer would have been
Cleveland
playing for the Chargers, not necessarily.
Yes, that's what I would. Yeah, the last time he appears for the San Diego Chargers.
As a Charger.
So how was my answer as the Pro Bowl even a close, debatable answer? Were you just like,
Game Master Scheibe was making a face, so I was hoping he was going to try to find a loophole. Subsection B.
There might be a loophole in here for Tanner.
The rule book.
How old is Rivers? How old is
35, 36, somewhere in there?
He came in the same year as Eli, right? So I want to say.
I think so. He came in like.
Well, maybe not. Am I
I
wrong?
didn't realize
No, it
Eli
was. Wasn't it the Manning and Rivers and Roethlisberger year?
36, I believe, would be the age.
So realistically, those guys have a few years, maybe 5 years left.
Yeah.
Hey,
right,
age is but a number. Look at Tom Brady, okay?
that's-
He's drinking from the
Father Time is undefeated, my man.
Yeah, he really.
I wonder
is.
if the Bears will make a play on Phillip
35?
Rivers.
That would be
35,
cool. Jay
35,
Cutler
yeah.
should go back to Denver. That would be a good move, I think, for everybody overall.
You know what? His beef with Denver was with the different brass out there now.
Yes, yep,
I don't think he has an
exactly.
issue now with them.
True enough.
All right, Armin, the next one's for you.
All right.
The University of Michigan football program announced this week that it will be the first institution to do what?
I think they're going to Italy, right, during the year. I believe
They might be. That's not what we're looking for.
Oh,
but
they're taking a recruit. They're taking like a practice trip to Italy or something.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, so I got it wrong then.
Yes, you did. Unfortunately, they're going to be the first. They're going to be the first program to pay 3 of their assistants a minimum of $1 million a year.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's
3
true.
football assistants are going to be making more than $1 million. Harbaugh already makes a hefty $100 trillion billion anyway, but they're going to be paying 3 assistant coaches $1 million or more a year. That's incredible. This team didn't even make it to the Final Four of the college football playoffs, and they're already going to be trying to pay their assistants more than $1 million each. I guess maybe that's a good incentive. I guess to go.
It's imaging, and they want to let everybody know that they're going to be rewarding the best coaches and things like that.
I guess so. Yeah, that would. If I was a coach, I'd be like, I'd love to get paid $1 million.
I don't know the process of paying these coaches in colleges, but I assume for a private university, it's easier for them to come up with money versus a state, school.
Well, I'm assuming in all their salaries are public record, like it is at the University of Wisconsin.
Right.
But I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, like a public university, you're dealing with taxpayers' money or something. It might be a harder sell to pay that many assistants.
But we're going to pay our.
But at a private like
bill.
Michigan, all it takes is a couple boosters and they're ready to go.
Well, isn't Michigan public though? Am I wrong?
I thought they were university. Aren't they a state school?
University of Michigan is private. I
Really?
believe. Yeah, and then Michigan State is public.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
might be wrong.
I assumed it was all.
Okay, never mind. Then
we're just dropping random sports things all over. I don't even know.
We're just a bunch of non-experts.
I'm actually Game Master Scheibe. The whole show's been a lie.
Well, it's time for me to break up the fun once again, but when we come back, our final contestant will play another one of our new games. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz.
What? On your mark, ready, set, let's go. Dance floor pro, I know, you know, I go psycho.
Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn. Just want to take a quick minute to remind all of you to go check us out on social media. You can go find us on Facebook by searching for What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. And while you're on our Facebook page, why not invite some of your friends to come like our Facebook page as well? You can go and check out all the great recordings that we do, behind-the-scenes pictures. You can see the different videos we do with a lot of our panelists as well, and just get to know What's the Score a little bit better as well. Also, go check us out on Twitter, at WTS Sports Quiz, and at WTS Sports Quiz on Instagram as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the 3 most powerful things on the social media spectrum right now, and What's the Score is on all of them. Go and check us out today.
Welcome back, everyone. This is What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. Our Left's Lucky Town Name 5 panelist showdown is coming up. But first, we have a new game called Pro Bowling. Here to get the game going is your host at the Attention Era Media Studios here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Baxter Colburn.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone. Just a quick reminder to go check out our website, WTSSportsQuiz.com. You can find out who tops our leaderboard, our upcoming broadcast schedule, and all kinds of other exciting things about What's the Score.
It's time now to welcome in our last contestant. Playing our final game is Dick Alpert. Welcome to the show, Dick.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Darn good to be here.
Absolutely, Dick. We are thrilled to have you on the program. As you probably know, Dick, this weekend is the last time football outside of the Super Bowl will be played before the new season kicks off. It's the time for the all-star version of what the NFL throws out. It's the Pro Bowl. It's the exciting time where the best players in the league, supposedly, are honored.
In this game, we'll quiz you on past and present Pro Bowl trivia. Correctly answer 3 out of 5 questions, and you'll win a What's the Score prize. If you do get stuck on a question, you can ask one of our panelists for a hint, but on only one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
Okay. I'm going to try it.
All right, here is your first question. Which player owns the record for both career receptions and career yards in the Pro Bowl? Is it A, Jerry Rice, B, Tony Gonzalez, or C, Antonio Gates?
Oh, boy. I'd have to go with Jerry Rice.
That is incorrect, unfortunately. Tony Gonzalez is the man that owns the record, actually.
That was my second choice.
You wouldn't have been far off, honestly. 3 very talented gentlemen, to say the least. But, yes, Gonzalez owning the record for the most yards. Here is your next question.
Which surprising quarterback owns the record for most touchdown passes thrown in a single Pro Bowl game with 4? Is it A, Joe Flacco, B, Mark Bulger, or C, Jeff Blake?
I would have to go with.
You can ask for a hint as well if you'd like to use it this early.
I'm gonna need a hint.
Okay, no problem at all. Do you want to talk to Brian, Armen, or Tanner for your hint?
Armen.
Armen, all right. How can you help out Dick?
Dick, good to hear from you, first of all.
You too, my friend.
My friend Dick. This man once usurped Kurt Warner as a starter in St. Louis.
This is tougher than the gum I'm chewing right now.
What kind of gum are you chewing?
Yeah,
it was Dentine.
It's sugar-free, juicy fruit.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it to you. Yeah,
it starts off really nice.
That's a bad choice.
I'm gonna say Mark Bulger.
That's correct.
All
right, nicely done.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, Dickie.
Mark Bulger threw 4 touchdowns in one Pro Bowl game. As an added fact, Jeff Blake actually owns the record for the longest touchdown pass in Pro Bowl history with 93 yards. Just looking at these 3 quarterbacks, it's just kind of funny. You just kind of chuckle at all 3 of them. Mark Bulger, did he just? I know he retired. I'm assuming at some point, but I never really heard how he got out of football. I thought he just kind of fell out of favor.
He just sort of faded away.
Yeah, it's one of those stories. And Jeff Blake was the Bengals quarterback for a while back. He was a number 1 pick for a while, wasn't he?
I don't know. I remember he did pretty well for the Bengals in those Carl Pickens days.
Yeah,
they never had good teams.
And then Flacco is Flacco.
Right.
Just Bulger and Blake, you almost chuckle that they were in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder who else got hurt or something that had to let them get in.
Right.
All right, Dick, here's your next question. Peyton Manning owns 8 Pro Bowl records, the most of any quarterback, but which record listed below does he not own? Is it A, games played, B, interceptions in a single game, or C, attempts in a single game?
Games played.
That is correct. Yes, nicely done.
Well done. Dick, you already have more points than me the entire show.
Yeah, there you go. Tanner's like, teach me your wisdom. For those that don't know, he actually owns the record for the most attempts in a game at 41. I'm not really sure why anybody's thrown the ball that many times as a single
That's
player.
a lot.
That's a lot.
You think they would put somebody else in by then, right?
Wow.
Peyton's like, no.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
I'm staying out here.
Peyton, it's the Pro Bowl. Nobody cares. No one's watching,
I
Peyton.
want the Pro Bowl ring, man.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's got to help me out here. All right, here's your next one, Dick.
The NFL prides itself on its players' dedication to community service and honors these players with the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. This year's 3 finalists are Eli Manning, Larry Fitzgerald, and which NFC Pro Bowl selection? Is it A, Aaron Rodgers, B, Ryan Kerrigan, or C, Greg Olsen?
Okay, the Walter Payton Award. Well, I know that it's not Aaron Rodgers.
That leaves you 2 more options, potentially, depending on what you decide to go with. So, once again, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Kerrigan, or Greg Olsen. Do you have a guess for us at all, Dick?
I'm going to have to say Greg Olsen.
There you go. That's correct.
Right,
nicely done.
Whoa. Okay.
All right,
I was concerned about that one.
Yeah, no, you hung in there. All right, here's your final one, Dick. The Pro Bowl usually represents players from many different teams. Playoff teams typically get multiple selections. This year, however, one playoff team did not get a single player selected to the Pro Bowl. Which team was it? Was it A, the Houston Texans, B, the Detroit Lions, or C, the Miami Dolphins?
Well, there's an obvious one in there.
There is, and it may be as obvious as you might think it is.
Gosh, I guess I was gonna say the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, is that what you want to go with?
Yes, I do.
That is incorrect, unfortunately. No, the Detroit Lions, actually. Although the Dolphins did have a former Lions player, and Ndamukong Suh selected, the Detroit Lions themselves had nobody chosen to go to the Pro Bowl. Now that Calvin Johnson's gone, I guess there's really nobody that you would really want to select. Game Master Scheibe, how did Dick do on our game?
Dick got 3 out of 5 correct. He's a winner.
Hey, way to go, Dick.
Well done,
right,
friend.
Tanner is envious.
I'm gonna take you out to lunch, and you're gonna teach me your ways.
There you go.
Well, before we go on, I want to note that Armen gets an additional panelist point for
Way to go, Armen.
Good job, Armen. That's 4 points to everybody. Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, the moment you've all been waiting for, except maybe Tanner, is almost here. Stick around and listen to our panelists duke it out on the Left's Lucky Town Name 5 Panelist Showdown, coming up right after the break. You're listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz.
Hey everybody, this is Baxter. Just want to take a quick minute to thank you for listening to today's show. One of the things that we love to do on What's the Score is tell you to go check out our website, which is true. We wouldn't tell you if you didn't think it was great. You can find all kinds of great information by heading over to WTSSportsQuiz.com. You can find who tops our current panelist leaderboard. You can find archive shows, other great places of where to listen to What's the Score, and of course get to meet the awesome staff that makes Game Master Scheibe and I's job so much easier each and every week. Head over to WTSSportsQuiz.com today and check it out.
Hello and welcome back. Thanks for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your Game Master, Josh Scheibe. Our panelists have been warming up for their final showdown. While they get ready, here's your host at the Attention Era Media Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone. We've had a great show. A quick reminder to go check out our show on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and on Spreaker.com as well. With all that being said, Game Master Scheibe, what time is it, sir?
It's time for the Left's Lucky Town Name 5 Panelist Showdown.
Yes. Bring it on. Let's do this.
Woo! Our panelists will be given 4 topics in which they will have 10 seconds to name 5 people, teams, places, or things related to the sports world. Each panelist will have the same category. However, they cannot repeat answers. 1 point is awarded for each correct answer.
Game Master Scheibe, I know the scores, but can you give me the scores, please?
I can. Tanner is in third with 0 points.
The big comeback starts now, Tanner.
Armen's in second with 3, and Brian's in the lead with 4.
Wow. Holy
Bax, I have a legitimate question.
Please,
just
yes.
For the record, fully on the record, has a panelist ever gone from 0 points to first place in the same panelist?
We'll have to check the record. I don't honestly know.
I feel like maybe somebody has.
This is where I shine.
Now's the chance.
So,
you ready for
time?
Joke's on you. I've been playing this all along.
They're going to make a 30 for 30 about this moment, I'm sure.
When no one believed in him. Tanner believed
0
in
points at
himself.
Buffalo.
Tanner was a small child back in
jumping
Buffalo.
off Niagara Falls, something like that. Crying.
All right, Game Master Scheibe. Round number 1. Tanner, you're going to lead us off. You're going to be naming 5 NBA teams. 10 seconds and go.
The Bucks, the Pelicans, the Bulls, the Hornets, the Nets.
There you go. That's 5. That's all we need is 5. Way to go. He got 5. Whoa!
I'm on the board. I did it.
Way to go. Armen, over to you. Round second time here. NBA teams. Remember, you cannot repeat answers. 10 seconds and go.
The Heat, the Magic, the Spurs, the Mavericks, and the Rockets.
There you go. We got 5 as well. Way to go. All right, Brian, 10 seconds and begin.
All right, the Knicks, the Jazz, Cavaliers, the Thunder, and the Clippers.
Oh, he got 5 as well. Wow.
Under the gun.
Tanner's like, come on.
Give me a break.
All right, Armen, you're going to lead off round number 2 for us by naming 5 current NFL defensive players. Current NFL defensive players.
Okay.
10 seconds and begin.
Morgan Burnett, Clinton Dix, Clay Matthews, Nick Perry, and Julius Peppers.
There we go. We got 5.
Why not?
Nicely
That would have been that's easy.
Keep it easy.
I'm a sandbagger.
That's tough.
All right, Brian, over to you. 10 seconds and go.
All right. I should just keep going with Packers as
Do
well. Now I'm totally drawing a blank. This is where I really take a mess. This is where I'm going down. I'm taking a dive.
Time is up. 0 for Brian on that one, unfortunately.
Wow.
All right, Tanner, the window is still there. The light, you can still see
Pressure
it.
got to me on that one.
Gotcha. Brian got in his head. He's like, hey, I had a great panelist questions. My first round, I got all 5. Like, life is good.
Life is good.
All right, Tanner. 10 seconds. 5 current NFL defensive players. 10 seconds and go.
I'm going to go a couple Bills on you. So Stephon Gilmore, Lorenzo Alexander, both Pro Bowlers, Kyle Williams, and Marcel Darius. And then a wild card, Ndamukong Suh.
There we go. 5. Well done. I thought maybe you were going to run out of time, but you did good there. Nicely done.
No, I don't run out of time, Baxter.
Boom.
That was not ringing on my watch.
I love it.
Trash.
All right, Brian, you're going to lead off round number 3 for you. You're going to be naming 5 outdoor games, and I don't mean professional sports. I mean games that you play in the backyard, summertime, things like that.
Oh, wow.
Your non-traditional, like football, soccer, backyard games.
Gotcha.
Got it?
Yep.
10 seconds and go.
Bocce ball, badminton, bags, ladder ball, and lawn darts.
There you go. 5. Nicely done. Niznansky house in the summer sounds
Yeah,
great.
it sounds
wow.
Like, fire up the grill.
I love it. All right. Tanner, you are... Oh, did you have a question?
Do they have to be tailgate games or no?
No,
Any outdoor?
Just backyard games.
All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna go,
as long as it's not like I said, the big ones like football, soccer, baseball, things like that. All right. Tanner, 10 seconds for you and begin.
Ultimate Frisbee golf, Can Jam for my Buffalo folks.
That's a great one.
Badminton, you can play that outside. Beach volleyball. Oh, wait, is that a professional sport? Does that count? I know. Did he say it?
Badminton was said.
Are you sure?
You're going to go with volleyball?
Check the camera. Could I challenge that?
Beach volleyball, though, you will get, though. That's correct.
I'll
depending on if your backyard is a beach. That's fine. Those Floridians, we don't discriminate.
Thank you.
All right, Armen, 10 seconds for you and begin.
Archery? Could you do archery?
Yeah.
What about kick the can?
Yeah.
Hopscotch?
Yep, classic.
Ghost in the graveyard?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Kickball?
Wow. Kickball, there you go.
That's good.
Armen, I got to give it to you. You went
whole
way outside the box there.
I got to say, doing that game, the third...
Yeah,
a third in that game was difficult.
Yeah,
because you guys got a lot of the obvious ones.
Well, you went way back. You went almost like you went kids games. I was like drunk adult games.
Yeah. Right. well, once you did, my strategy was to go childhood. I said I had to go with the childhood games we used to play. Because you got lawn darts, you got
tag, sardines.
Yes,
right.
Kick the can, beat up Johnny. All my favorite games.
Beat up Johnny.
That's a great category, though.
I'm glad you liked
was that
it.
You or Josh? Great category.
That was me on that one. Thank you. All right, Game Master Shibes, we head into the final round. What are the scores?
Tanner and Brian are tied at 14.
And
Armen is in the lead with 18.
No, Armen's in the lead with 18.
To the show.
All right.
I'm realizing how weighted this back end is.
Yeah.
So I didn't worry about
That's important.
First couple.
You got to get those points.
All right. Why don't you flip a coin for us there, Josh, so we know who's going to go first in this tiebreaker. High flip there.
All right. It's going to be Tanner.
Tanner's going to go first.
The old 3-sided coin there.
I didn't see the coin flip. You sure?
It's around here somewhere.
Yeah,
sure.
It probably got intercepted by
I get
somebody
it, guys.
halfway
I
through.
get it. It's fine.
All right, Tanner, your final round, you're going to be naming 5 professional stadiums or arenas. It's not as many as you can like we've done in the past. It is only 5.
Okay.
Professional stadiums or arenas. 10 seconds and begin.
I'm going to start with the obvious ones. Miller Park, the Bradley Center, so BMO Harris, the New Era Field, Wrigley Field, Fenway. Is
There
that
you
5?
go. That's 5.
Right.
There you go. He got 5. Nicely done.
Cool.
Who's New Era Field? That's what I was going to say. I'm like, don't forget the Bills.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. It was still Ralph Wilson.
Now it's a giant billboard, and like literally on the back of the scoreboard, it just says, "This is the cap," and there's just like New Era, New Era, New Era. You know, a bunch of hats. So
New Era.
We are now officially appeasing the appeasing the corporate lovers.
Well done. You had to get there at some point.
Yes.
I think Brian's next. Am I correct about that? So what is Brian looking at currently?
Brian is in third right now. He has 14 points. So he wants to get 5 if he wants to tie with Tanner.
And force a sudden death.
That's
him.
right.
Okay. 10 seconds for you, Brian. Professional stadiums and arenas. And begin.
United Center, you have Soldier Field, we have Levi Stadium, FedEx Field, and Gillette.
There you go. 5 good ones, too.
Gillette. Come on now.
The best a man can get. Okay.
All right, so what are we looking at here going with Armen as our last round?
Armen has 18 points. Both Brian and Tanner have 19, so Armen needs 1 to tie.
Nice.
2 to win.
First place.
10 seconds. Yeah, enjoy it, Tanner, while you have it. 10 seconds, and begin, Armen.
Yankee Stadium, Citi Field, the Meadowlands, Sun Life Stadium, and I believe American Airlines Arena. There's like 3 of those.
There you go. Somewhere, in the country. There you go.
I think Miami and Dallas both have that. So.
Yeah, there you go. That works. We'll take all 5 of those.
Yes. No slowing you down, Armen. No slowing
That's
you
a
down.
tough one, though, too, because you can't remember all the sponsorships.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, I can't say Joe Robbie anymore. I can't say...
True. Lambeau Field?
Oh, my God.
Did we no one
said Lambeau Field.
I thought maybe you said it first.
I thought you did first because you said the obvious
I said
one.
Miller Park and the Bradley.
He didn't go farther than, Okay, so we have a tie. So Armen's already taken the first place victory, but we got to break the second, third place tie.
Dab.
First of all, congratulations, Armen. We'll get back to you.
Moment.
So, Game Master Shaibi, how would you like to determine who goes first?
Well, last time it went to Tanner, so this time it'll go to Brian.
So it'll go to Brian. All right, Brian. So the way we do our tiebreakers, you'll get 10 seconds to name as many of the topic we give you.
Gotcha.
Okay? And Tanner cannot tie you. So he has to get more than you when it's his turn.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be naming as many as you can in 10 seconds NFL teams. Okay?
Okay.
10 seconds and go.
Bengals, Patriots, Steelers, Lions, Bears, Buccaneers, Giants, Jets, Dolphins, Redskins.
10 for Brian.
Wow, well
10
done.
for Brian.
Well done.
Good work.
Still plenty of time and plenty of teams for Tanner. All right, Tanner, you need to get at least 11 to take that second place away from Brian, all right?
Sounds so easy when you say it like that.
Only 11. It's fine. 10 seconds and go.
The Steelers, the Niners, the Chargers, the Bills haven't been said. God, what am I doing? The Falcons, the Cardinals.
He got 6. He got
That's
6.
tough when the pressure's on the line.
Well, he already threw 10 out there. I'm like, which ones didn't he say?
Right.
Yeah, usually what we see in that situation is one person grabs like the East Coast, the other person grabs the West
But he
Coast.
went all over the board. He hit everybody.
That was smart,
I was
though.
like,
Yeah, that was good.
oh my gosh.
Sometimes people will start in the NFC North and then work their way
Just
up
stay
from
with the
there as
divisions.
well, too.
If I would have redid it, I would have thought divisions more like. But
There
maybe
you
my
go.
strategy worked out beforehand. Just
Yeah.
sporadic
It did.
spray.
You went all
There you
over the
go.
place.
All right, Game Master Shaibi. So we don't necessarily need to go to the points because we know they're a little inflated, obviously,
Right.
with the tiebreaker. But how are our official 1 through 3 standings today, then?
Tanner's in third place, Brian's in second, and Armen's the big winner.
Hey!
Yeah.
Congratulations, Armen. You are the winner of our Left's Lucky Town Name 5 panelist showdown.
Thank
sir.
you.
How
Thanks,
do you
guys.
how do you feel? Another successful victory in the bag for you.
I feel great. I'm on the winning track now. I'm going to go dab with Aisha Curry here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Not
Who did-
Aisha.
Aisha.
Not Aisha. Aisha's the wife.
It's Riley, right?
With Riley
Maybe
Curry.
she dabs too.
Oh, I'm
She
sure.
probably
The whole
dabs.
family,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure,
a
dabs.
Don't want the
family.
dab a little bit, right?
Exactly.
So, all right, what the heck?
Exactly. Tanner, third place there. You were close.
You know what? I gotta give myself credit here. As
You do.
arrogant-
All
as
right, you
arrogantly
do.
as possible. I had 0 points going into that showdown, and I was in first place.
Yeah.
Tied, mind you, but for at least a minute, I
were,
was
yeah.
I was living large.
You
back
were.
there.
You were. You were
Good.
living large. It gave you a taste of what the future holds for you. The future is bright.
Yeah, it's like holding like a piece of fried chicken in front of me when I'm on the treadmill. You know what I mean?
Right.
A couple
keep
moral
running.
victories.
Just
to take
keep
Yeah,
around.
Moral
exactly.
victories.
Exactly. Well,
You know what? I'm just gonna say. I'm very comfortable in my spot here on the podium in third place, and
you still got a medal.
I still get a medal.
Get a bronze medal?
It's like Little League all
You get a
over
point
again.
in the panelist leaderboard, so that certainly helps,
Hey,
to say
I'll
the
take
least.
every
You
point I
know,
can get, yeah.
exactly. They add up after a while.
They do.
They do. They do indeed. Well, and Brian, your first time on the panel
First
today,
time.
sir. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a blast. I actually hope that I gave a nice credit to all the weather men and women across
Yes.
the
The
world
weather people?
You made it-
who
you
don't
made
get
it-
enough credit for also being sports fanatics as well.
Yeah, exactly. How do you? I've always been curious. How do you work in a profession when everybody basically knows you're wrong most of the time?
If I had a nickel for every
I've
time I
always
heard
been
that one.
curious.
Yeah.
Be like, I've always wanted to ask your other men. Be like, Brian,
Yeah.
I gotta ask him.
Yeah, it's
You're actually pretty right for the most part.
Well,
I watch.
Thanks.
You know,
yeah,
I'm
I think
a fan.
people tend to forget all the times that things go right. They only remember
you're like,
the
you're
wrong
welcome.
ones.
Yeah, we predicted those 8 feet of snow.
Well, remember, weather's the only part of TV news that's unscripted.
This is true,
and it's the only time. It's the only part of TV news that tells the future and not the past, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So I'm going to defend you a little bit.
It is an inexact
Armen
science, but it comes with the territory. If you weren't getting razzed, you know that's. At least you know someone's watching.
Sure.
My Facebook feed was blowing up this morning. I think I went 1 to 2 inches of snow for tomorrow. Oh yeah, last time.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah,
So I mean, what we've got here. What's the week ahead look like for us for the Milwaukee area?
Well, just like tomorrow, a little Alberta Clipper on our way.
Oh, clip.
Yeah, I think here in Milwaukee we'll probably get about 1 inch north of here. The old Sheboygan, Chevegas maybe gets about 2-3 inches.
Chevegas.
Yeah, we'll
okay,
see.
you heard it here first. All right. Well, What's the Score has been a production of Attention Era Media. A very special thanks to our contestants and studio audience here at the Attention Era Media Studios.
Our panelists this week have been Armen Saryen, Tanner Burke, and Brian Niznansky.
Our social media director is Tony Larson, and our marketing director is Emily Heffler.
Our show writers were David Bobke, Caleb Pearson, Noel Alberto, and Ryan Salman.
Our theme was composed by Danny Hoffenstein. Our show producers were Caleb Pearson and David Bobke, and the executive director of What's the Score is Liz Colburn.
I've been your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I've been your host, Baxter Colburn. Thanks so much for listening in. We'll see you next time on What's the Score?